will now look into the third topic, which was financials. So right now I have a budget of nothing, and expected benefits where I need to type them in. Let's write the 750 we did earlier as well together here. So we still need sort of a budget up here. And these, sometimes we can also look at this ROI field as, you can right now move to, for instance, a business case, but only if you have entered in an ROI. And to get to that, as you can see, we're blocked now. We need to do some math. So right now it's about finding out the budget, which is why when I click on financials, you will see our sort of fourth, this is in this case, very large PCF component. This is a fully configurable grid for financial management, all in Dataverse, all up. And the way it's been configured right now is that I can go in as an end user and have a complete cost breakdown structure available, and myself go in and select, I would like something about Microsoft, Salesforce, I need to do some budgeting on servers, I need some internal hours, external hours, and based on those items, I can click here, and the grid will render accordingly. So I can go in now on the various levels and enter in my budget per month, say 50,000 to Microsoft in January, and we spent perhaps 47,000. That was too much, like this. So again, we can tailor this view so that actual cost is protected. Or another example could be that you do a forecast. Forecasting is always done ahead of time, which means that if I fast forward to the month we're in right now, we have smart time enabled, so it understands we are in August. Therefore, you are allowed to do a forecast on that month and looking ahead. And when the month has ended, the forecast, of course, would be equal to the actual cost. So that's sort of logic we can set up. Adding more years is definitely also possible by simply clicking New Year. And then you can click there, go to the overview of 21, 22, and drill into 22 and add whatever you need to add in. Version control, also a key request for many. Still done in Dataverse, completely sort of using the standard Dataverse out of the box. So we have this button here, so we can create a complete copy of a finance plan because we have a new approval or new budget, and say this is now the one we're going to use, maybe some description. Clicking create triggers the creation of that copy, and now we have two versions of the same financial grid. Also available for reporting, so we can see in charts, for instance, over time, how we have progressed and changed the budget or had cost changes, for instance. So one of the things I want to show here, besides just the user interface and being able to write some comments and so on, is how easy it is to manage as a financial controller. So if you were to add a new dimension in this tool and you had access, you could quickly go to admin, so the admin area. And from here, you will see the cost areas, CapEx, OpEx, the cost categories, specifications, that's the third level, cost types, so actual, budget, forecast. Let's make a new one just for the example. Write the webinar cost type. That's a bit too long, maybe. Let's just write webinar. It will be shown as number 4. Short for this is webinar, it's fine. Definition is also 4. So just doing this is enough for the entire PCF to pick it up. That when you go in here to your project, or the users do, even if it's a running project, of course, and they click on financials, a new cost dimension would pop up right now, webinar, and already available for you to type data in, like this. And in real time aggregate the full grand total overview. The same thing we can do for any row, so not just columns, so columns and rows. And you can even do math on it. So if you wanted to go in, now you're going to see something really cool, I think, as a geek here. We made the configuration available from within the view without having to go anywhere else, where you can go in and configure read-only roles who can only see the grid based on your groups, permission structure, defining that on certain cost types. So actual cost, only this person is allowed to manage that. For the rest, it will be read-only and vice versa. We can even create custom columns where we can go in and do our own math, saying a calculated field, take budget, 6 months behind, 3 months forward, and divide that by something else. So pretty advanced stuff, and immediately shown in the grid once you've configured it, if you are the admin. And the same thing we have for our other tools, like the timeline, the other PCF component, where we went a long way to ensure that people actually could learn to go in and change this experience, activate features, create their own columns. Let's take the categorization of task types you saw. So if I click on category, notice that we can connect it to a field picker that's already in Dataverse. We then see the choices, and then we can go in quickly and create our own icons by just clicking here and finding a cool looking icon from the Fabric UI catalog, copying that name up here and pasting it right here. And then you get the icon and you just change the color based on if you have a color scheme of some sort. And that's it. So we went a long way to ensure that enterprise companies can have a really tailored experience in the UI and how it sort of works. So that was a little bit about timelines, again, financials also. And of course, if you go back to the details, this project now has an ROI of 6.5 because we now have the budget in the summarized field. So that's how we can connect the dots and do some calculations on it.